Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Chris McPherson Show Daily Dose. And it's time to recap another day of cricket action in the Ashes. Day 3 of the test between Australia and England, coming from Adelaide Oval. And I am today overcoming technical difficulties, joined by Clem. You're back, mate. No false alarms this time, hopefully.
Yeah, we've made it. Fingers crossed we get through the whole thing. No, nice work. Thanks for having me back.
Good to have you back, mate. It's been an interesting day, a day that's probably looking pretty good if you're an Aussie fan. There were some moments there where it was up and down early with some wickets and different things. And even it's probably fair to say, if we go back to the start of the day, that England probably got the upper hand in the first session today.
Oh, definitely. I think England, the first session was definitely England's. They added 73 for the final 2 wickets just today, plus a small partnership Stokes and Archer put together yesterday. Archer got his maiden test 50 as well. He looked pretty good. He was batting pretty freely. And then it never looked like Stokes was going to get out, and then Stark just smashed through him. And we sort of wrapped him up pretty quick after that.
Yeah, you could see the frustration from Stokes. He knew that he was the key cog to that wheel, that Archer was going to go with him. But Archer then knew once Tongue got out there that he just kind of had to try and add the runs they can. We said 270 would be a good position for them. They got the 286.
Yep.
And then they got the early breakthrough. 1 for 8. Weatherall departed. Cast got him trapped in front. And if you're England, you kind of had a bit of a sniff of blood in the water at that point.
I will pull you back there for a second. Cast had him trapped outside the line of leg stump, but it was honestly it was bad partnershiping, for want of a better word, from Travis Head. He was standing about 3 metres off the pitch, and he didn't pick up that it had pitched outside leg stump. If he went up the stairs, he would have been not out. But you're right, England would have smelt blood in the water. They got Marnus not long after that, and they were 2 for 50. It was a bit of a wobble, but Khawaja and Head sort of steadied the ship again.
Yeah, they certainly did. I've got a bit of a saying I like to live by, Adam, and that's, if my auntie had a set, she'd be my uncle. So if they had a reviewed, it would have been great. They didn't. Therefore, he's trapped in front. So
that's right.
As you say, you've got to be smart about how you use your reviews. And I understand that you've got to maybe hold them in the bank sometimes, but that one probably should have been. But again, who knows what DRS would have dished up after what we've seen the last few days. But let's not get the English too wound up. They're wound up enough with what's going on in the match. As you said, Usman Khawaja and Travis Head then came together. They put on another 86. Usman was looking good before, again, the undoing of him was Will Jacks. Is there something going on with Usman? Usman used to be a good player of spin. We enjoyed him on the subcontinent in recent tours.
I've got no idea. I think it was a bit strange. It sort of came out of nowhere. They had the whole game sort of in a bit of a holding pattern, and then Khawaja falls, and then Green falls shortly after. And again, it was sort of a bit of a mini collapse. Again, another wobble. But it's again, England probably did smell blood in the water. But the body language of Stokes all through the second session, he just looked tired. That he batted a long time yesterday in the heat, and again today. Archer as well only bowled 2 overs in that middle session. So obviously the batting took it out of him.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that's the case. And then obviously late in the innings, Ben Stokes as well hit his head on the pitch and had to go off, which is not ideal for them. And at the end of the day, look, I want to beat a full-strength England. I don't want to beat a half-strength England as much as I have my dislike for their United Nations of cricket that they've bound together. Not that we can throw too many stones with a couple of blokes that we put in there with Marnus and Uzi, but anyway, it's always fun. It's an interesting time, though. You talked about Cameron Green before. I've got a bit of a view about this, and we'll get to the milestones in a second, but we might leap a little bit ahead here and get your thoughts. Cameron Green, genuinely bowling well, probably getting asked to do the ugly work in terms of coming in, bowling short, heavy, short spells, trying to get that heavy ball in.
Yep.
He bowls at 140 plus. He's got an average in the low to mid sort of 20s in first-class cricket. He averages in the 40s with the bat. Like, his numbers are really good, but we're not seeing that here. Is he a number 5 in a test side, or do we think, and again, I don't want to shoot the bloke before he goes into bat potentially tomorrow, does he drop down to number 7 with Steve Smith coming back in and maybe Inglis makes way?
I think Green needs to have a rest the last 2 tests. It's the perfect opportunity for Bo Webster to come in. I'm sorry, I know that everyone says Green's a generational talent, but he just has to prove it. He's desperately out of form with the bat at the moment. If you're batting at 5, you're in the team for your batting first. And he's just not.
That's the problem, though, Clem. He shouldn't be batting at 5.
Yeah.
If I get a fish to try and climb a tree, he's not going to do too well at it, right? And that's what I mean. Like the numbers, when you have a look at them, and I've had this argument in a couple of WhatsApp chats today. When you have a look at the sort of numbers that Green puts up, as I said, you got 37 with the bat for Webster in first class cricket, 46 for Green, 34 with the ball for Webster, 33 with Green. So he's better on both sides. But I think with the way he bowls, he is a genuine bowling all-rounder, and they're trying to pitch him as a batter who part-time bowls, which is normally what your number 5 is.
Yep.
That's a Travis Head, who now is opening, and I've got no problem with that. But that's what I mean. Maybe it is Usman Khawaja. Josh Inglis hasn't exactly set the world on fire. He may make me eat my words, and again, it's going to be a good problem to have. But I think, again, Webster certainly did really well in Sydney. Webster adds another option to our arsenal in terms of the fact he can bowl pace and spin. But Green is more intimidating as a bowler. Green probably has some better long spells in him. Fielding, it's much of a muchness. They're both giants that can take leaping catches in the gully and throw down the pegs with half a stump to aim at. I just think it's hard, and we've got this fascination with reshuffling people when it's not working, and then when they don't go well there, we then punt them for it. We had McSweeney. We've had a number of these others in recent years where we've reshuffled them, and it's just not working out. I think, to be fair, especially if we've got it 1, let's see him in Melbourne at number 7. I mean, I can see the argument for Inglis making way and Webster potentially coming in, but Khawaja's performed, so it's pretty bloody hard to say to Uzi, sorry, mate. And I just think, too, Uzi dropping down another spot. You think about that batting lineup now. I know Jake Weatherald's still, I don't think he's quite proved himself yet, but he's done some decent things. Travis Head and Jake Weatherald up the top. You then have Marnus, Steve Smith, Uzi coming into Alex Carey at 6, and then maybe Cameron Green. And at that point, maybe you can free the shoulders a bit more, even if some wickets have fallen, because Carey and Head, you look at this innings. If Cam Green's coming in next rather than before Carey, it's a very different scenario.
I do agree with you. I think that probably is the lineup they'll go with in Melbourne and Sydney. I think Smith comes back in. You really can't drop Usman after he's plundered 120 very important runs in this test, and looked like he was fine. I mean, he had a bit of trouble against the Quicks on the first day, but he's 120 runs is better returns than most batsmen. So I think that they probably will persevere with him, but I just don't.
You're voting one by Webster. That's okay.
I don't like the narrative around him being a generational talent. You can only get picked on potential for so long.
There's been a lot of generational talents and not many generations. That's all I'm going to say.
That's right.
The way they go, heaping praise. They did Ollie Peake the other night. He got 50 in the Big Bash, and don't get me wrong, it was stylish. You and I talked about this. Yeah. But let's not make him the next Bradman just yet, all right, guys? The same thing happened to Jason Sanger a few years ago. Then he went through the quiet patch. He came good last year. He's having a quiet year, and now the knives are out again. Yep. Let's just let the cricketers be cricketers, all right? Moving on, milestones, obviously, for the 2 hometown heroes. Not going to crow too much here, but it might have been what I suggested in the intro. For the preview, Trav Head joins Alex Carey with a century. Alex Carey then goes on to make his half century. But Travis Head, geez, it was a nervous 99.
The English team, I just cannot believe they dropped him on 99. He looked so desperate to get off the hoodoo, you know what I mean? And he was he pushed a couple of times for a quick run, and obviously just got sent back. But really, he walked a lot of his singles through that innings. So if he just took a couple more twos, he would have made it there overs before he made it.
Yeah, well, he's certainly got to move on from there. Alex Carey, right in the shadows of stumps, brought up his 50. Great to see both these guys, and obviously they're great mates. Describe each other as their best mates. But Alex Carey, for the 14th time in his career, bringing up 50, and it still bamboozles me that he's only got 2 Test hundreds. But he's in a position where if he goes on tomorrow, and again I don't want to jinx it, he could post possibly twin tons on his home deck. We know for Trav the home deck's been great. I think he's got 4 Test hundreds, an ODI 100. He's got 100 for the strikers. It was a key one as well there. It's a match made in heaven, Travis Head and the Adelaide Oval, but Alex Carey, maybe tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I'm not going to toot your horn any more than you're going to, but congratulations on that. You picked it right from the start. So Travis Head, he averages 8, before I put these numbers in for today's 100, averages 82. Now he has 400s in a row at Adelaide Oval in tests. He averages 65 there in ODIs. He has 100 there in ODIs as well. Carey, I feel like he has always been one to come in and rescue the innings and then sort of hang around with the tail. And I'll be interested to find out how many of those 50s were not outs, because he certainly maybe runs out of time, has to change his game plan to bat with the tail and then sort of gets himself out. But, another 14 50s and not many hundreds. Maybe if he's batting at 6 moving forward, he'll get more opportunities to push that number up.
Yeah, well, we'll see how he continues to go. They've obviously both moved up the batting order in recent times and looking every bit deserving of it. Great work from them. So loving to see this. Carey 52 not out. The question now, where do Australia go to? Where do they push on to? Clearly, holding the advantage, 356. I mean, to be fair, there's a part of me that says we could declare now, and I'd be reasonably confident. We'll get to why in a moment. But do we go just after lunch tomorrow? I know in one of our group chats we've got going on with a few of the boys, you've sort of suggested, bat properly in the morning, maybe put on another 90 between them. Carey's knocking on the door of his 100. Get to the 100 and then just whoever's in, just swing for the pickets for a little bit without trying to take too much out of the gas of the tank of the bowlers.
I think that's exactly what they should do. I know I said today when Australia came into bat, I think one of the boys asked us, what are we going to do? And I said, just bat. Don't worry about runs. Don't worry about anything. Just bat the day out with wickets in hand. We can deal with tomorrow. And now we're there. If they can bat normally through the first session, open up the shoulders in the second session and just rack up as many runs as possible, get England in for an sort of untidy 10 overs before the tea break. By then, we'd be looking to be over 500 runs in front. Now, England haven't batted more than 88 overs yet in this series in 6 innings. So I really think we can lead the declaration as late as we want. And really, if they're going to bat to their brand, they really have no choice but to go for these runs, no matter how much they are. A draw does nothing for them, loses them the Ashes, and the narrative around this team tells them that they have to go for it to save face.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think, if we can put another 130, 140, get it up towards the high 400s, I think once you start going past 500, even though they need to go after it, if they've only got, 100 overs and they lose a couple of early wickets, they're just going to shut up shop really quickly. If it's 400, until they get down to, Stokes and the bowlers, they'll still tell themselves, oh, there's a fighting chance unless they're, 6 for 80 or something like that. But the last part of my prediction in the preview show was that Gary was going to get a few wickets on day 4 and 5. So look, it's shaping okay. I just wish I'd put some money on all of this because it would have paid some pretty good odds.
It would have been huge.
I'll call them the 3 South Australians. Gary, obviously a New South Wales, spent a bit of time there and knows Adelaide Oval innately, though. Interestingly, when you have a look at the most successful run chasers here at the Adelaide Oval, first of all, 6 for 315 from Australia, only a few years ago in 1902.
Yep.
Outside of that, no one has chased down more than 239 as an away side. The West Indies twice in 1982 and 1951. This millennium, you've got to go back to India, 6 for 233 in 2003, and the Aussies 7 for 187. So 4 times at Adelaide has anyone chased down more than 200 runs. So that bodes really well. The one scorecard, though, that I will bring to your mind is England versus India. Now, admittedly, this is on home deck against an India side, but they chased down 378, 3 down, a side that was, a fairly stacked side compared to what they're working with at the moment, but some names that are in there. Zach Crawley, Ollie Pope did what Ollie Pope does. He got a duck. Joe Johnny Bairstow, though, combined to go from 3 for 109 to chasing down 378. And they've got that ability with a Root and a Stokes, those sorts of guys, to go and put a big partnership together. I know they haven't done it yet, and I know that's on English soil, but we need to keep that in the back of our mind that they do have a couple of batters who know how to go big. You've got a couple of batters that are absolutely fighting for their career and probably going to be sacked after this test too, and Ollie Pope and maybe Zach Crawley. But that's why I think, as much as part of me says 350 is enough, you need to go and put the sword in a little bit more. Plus, you can demoralise them into the 4th and 5th test, which is always fun against the Poms.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, even during the second session today, the body language of Stokes was pretty poor, and the team, you could just see, as this last session went ahead, they just really squeezed every last bit of breath out of the English team. They looked defeated out there, and Carey even just really snuck up on his 50. Now, talking about the big run chase that Root and Bairstow put together, that is why I've said get it over 500. I understand your take that to go, they'll shut up shop and go for the draw. But I think that even then we still have the bowlers to get them out if we get over 500. And I do have that in the back of my mind that if a guy like Crawley and then Brook get going, not that I have any confidence in that these days. It's the one team that I think we could say has it in them if it all falls in place.
Well, there you go. While we've been chatting, I've done a little bit of research too on your Alex Carey question. Twice out of those 13, not counting the current innings, so twice out of his previous 12 has he been not out. Over 50, one of those 98 not out against New Zealand in Christchurch, where he got stranded, and the other one 66 not out in the World Test Championship against India. But I want to see him go on and get that fourth ton. That's what we want to see tomorrow morning. I wouldn't mind seeing Josh Inglis come out and have a little bit of a slap. And then if needed, I know Pat Cummins is our number 8, but I just want to see Mitchell Starc. Give him the bat. Send Starkey up, let him swing, let him clear the front leg, let him go and get 30 off 7 balls or something wild, then declare when we've really got him in the dust, and then give him the new rock and let him get out there with his tail up. That's what I'm thinking tomorrow, Clem. How's that sound?
That sounds bloody great to me, mate. I can't wait for it.
Well, here we are. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow recapping all that. If you haven't already done it, make sure to hit subscribe down below. Tune back in tomorrow. We're going to have some more recap of the test. Maybe, just maybe, it'll be wrapping up the test after day 4. But until then, a big thank you to you for tuning into your home of Black and White Sport. And Clem, let's talk some more cricket over the next few days and as the series in summer continues on.
Sounds good, mate. Thanks for having me.